All right. Well, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Boxborough Select Board. It is 7:02 p.m. on Monday, September 9th. Forgot my glasses. Mike is gracious and let me hiss. So here we go. Let's start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any announcements tonight? I didn't print any.
I have one.
Do you want to make it?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want your glasses?
No, I'm good. So as many in the community may be aware, we are in Boxborough at the high threat level for mosquito-borne illnesses, which include West Nile virus, but specifically Triple E. We have a case going on in the community next to us. For that reason, we have closed down community fields as well as the school field from dusk to dawn until further notice. We expect that the threat level may be high until as long as the first frost. However, the Board of Health has decided to bring in extra mosquito spraying, and that will occur tomorrow evening at around 7 p.m., so it'll be after dusk. And there are notifications and more information on the website, or call administration for information. I know there's been particular concern, with children, pets, beekeepers, etc. So around 7 p.m. would be a good time to have your children and pets indoors. The spraying will all be from trucks going down the streets in town and spraying, as I mentioned, around the fields and open areas. For beekeepers in particular, of which I am one, what I do when there are pesticides being applied in my community is I put a wet sheet over my hives, and the spray is only airborne for about 20 minutes, and so you could remove that later on that evening or the next morning, and the bees will be safe. And the reason they do it in the evening, like I said, about 7 p.m. tomorrow night, is because children and pets are generally in. Bees will all be in their hives, and it's a safe application at that time. Further, folks are cautioned that they should close their windows on the front of their homes, the ones facing the street, as well as turn off air conditioners that are facing the street at that time from about 7 to about 7:30 tomorrow evening. So if there are any other further notifications, we'll put those out to the community. We have asked Littleton Electric Light Department to put out a reverse 911, as you will, notification to the town tonight, and it's up on the website and social media.
Great. Does anybody have any questions about this? Either here or on Zoom? All right, then that's the plan. All right. Next up, public input. Does anybody have anything they want to share with the board? Becky.
Thank you. I have two things tonight. First, I was driving down Mass Ave last week when I passed the traffic island at Liberty Square Road. I know. I think it's the TVs on Kirby. The volume's loud on the TV or something. I don't know. And there was a hat-wearing resident busily pulling weeds from around the flowers. I would guess it was a member of the garden club, and I just wanted to acknowledge them for all they do to keep our town looking beautiful. I think I actually know who it was, but I wouldn't want to venture a guess and have it be the wrong person. Second, I watched your meeting of September 12th, and at the very end of the meeting, Select Board member Wes Folks decided to take advantage of his position on the board to lodge false accusations and insults against our police officers. It's completely inappropriate for an elected official to question the credibility of our employees, but especially from the table. If a member of the board has a concern with any employee, it should be taken directly to the TA. Residents don't have the ability to sit at the table and complain and make false accusations, all while being broadcast and recorded for perpetual viewing, so neither should any of you. Wes was wrong when he said Sergeant Pelly had sued residents. I reached out to Sergeant Pelly, He filed a claim against a resident's vehicle insurance policy after he was struck by their car. He's never filed a lawsuit against a resident. Wes called into question the severity of the bite his dog inflicted on Officer Turner. I understand Officer Turner went to the hospital to be treated for the bite. Wes owes the police a public apology, and if it's not forthcoming, the chair and the board should take appropriate action. Thanks.
Thanks, Becky. All right, we'll be discussing that at a future meeting. I didn't think it was fair to have any sort of discussion when he's not here.
I didn't know he was going to be here.
Yeah, okay. All right, sounds good. Any other public input? Seeing none, we're going to get to our guests. So we're looking forward to, at our meetings, inviting different groups from town to come in, talk about what they do and how they contribute to the town. And this evening, it is the land stewards. And do you want to take it away, Dave? Because this is a group that you work with.
Well, Dave Barnett is certainly someone that I work with, and he's a wonderful guy to have in town. He also, in addition to the land stewards, which you'll hear more about, he also has been working with us at the Steel Farm too. So,
So Dave, you want to grab the mic?
we've got some slides put together, and
Great.
we'll hear about the land stewards.
So do whatever's comfortable. Sit with the mic, stand at the, we're pretty late.
In here, I guess. Is
All right.
am I speaking into it properly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, slides are up. Well, I'm glad to have a chance to be here. Thank you for inviting me to talk about the land stewards. And I wanted to start with just a little bit of background, which is, this quote is right off the town website, but important to know is that the group, Land Stewards Group, was formed in 2004 officially. It really is a underneath, or a branch of the Conservation Commission. So it's it was formed at the time to support the efforts of the Conservation Commission to keep the trails open and steward the lands, the conservation lands, of which there are about 1,200 acres and about 30 miles of trails today in Boxborough. Really, most importantly, I want to stress that I'm just in my first year of this, and Liz Markowitz deserves all the credit for just being the land steward coordinator for the past 20 years. And just in the past few months, she passed the baton to me after 20 years. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.
And I'll get it. Well, I also want to acknowledge the Public Works. Ed Kukula has been very collaborative and helpful a couple of times, and since I took over to tackle a couple of trees that were beyond the scope of volunteer help with equipment we had. But so it is a joint mutual effort with the town, and that's how we see it. So, and Conservation Commission particularly. So next slide. So I just wanted to summarize, what we're doing today and what it's all about. There are about 25 volunteers that were largely in place when I took over, and there's a few new ones. So about 25 now active. Really, the focus for 20 years and still today has primarily been on maintaining the trails and keeping the fallen trees and branches off the trails and keeping them accessible for the townspeople. Some volunteers are primarily assigned to one or two areas, and they weekly or at least monthly on a regular basis walk the trails, and then will either take care of the small stuff or notify me if there's a large tree or anything that needs chainsaw or additional help. And other volunteers help as needed. We have occasional work days. The last one we had in last fall was to cut the trails of the new Sergeant Road land. So we'll occasionally do that as needed when there's a bigger job. So mostly that's what we do. The number of hours that people put in are all over the map, because it depends on whether you're a regular monitor of a land or just helping as needed. A few of the volunteers own chainsaws and are willing to use them, and we of course sign the waivers and the liability waivers.
Thank you.
I didn't think of that at all.
I
did. Not for a second.
So
I did have a Monty Python moment in my head.
Yeah, we know the town won't come back, won't have our back. We got it on our own. But there are a few that have chainsaws, and then when people see something they need help, they'll contact me, and I'm the point person, as Liz always was, for then lining up somebody to do whatever is needed. And again, wanted to acknowledge that Ed at DPW has been very helpful as well when it was beyond our scope. And then the next slide, just I wanted to talk a little bit about, going forward, that we'll of course continue to keep the trails open. Any new ones that are formed or all the ones that exist, and and the summer has been is pretty slow because ticks and mosquitoes and summer vacations, and so haven't been as active, but certainly we were in the spring after the winter storms, and I'm sure there'll be more and more work soon in the fall and storms coming through. So we'll be gearing up again, but I also there are a number of bridges or boardwalks that have been placed over the years in wet, muddy areas, and there's quite a few new muddy areas, and with the last couple of years of more rain than usual and heavier storms. So we have some work to do to build and install more of those. And so we'll be looking for people interested in helping with those efforts. So quite a few of the lumber is stored in Steel Farm in the barn now, and we'll use that up and then talk about getting more if we need it. But that will be an ongoing effort. And then what I really want to look forward to doing a lot more in the future is the invasive plant problem that is just only growing and really rapidly in Boxborough, along with everywhere else around. But things such as the bittersweet and the buckthorn, and probably the worst is the Japanese knotweed that is really spreading so much. So I look forward to utilizing the expertise of Sudbury Valley trustees, the Weed Warriors program they have, and I have a background in horticulture and ecology, and I know just enough to be dangerous. So I'll try, but I look forward to trying to help with these efforts and really working with the volunteers that we have, and hopefully some new ones, because we'll never be done with that job. There's really some areas that are. There's burning bush on Beaverbrook Meadows that is just dominating the understory of the forest, and nothing else is hardly growing. So it really is a problem that we're going to have to be increasingly aware of. But I think we can pick and choose our battles, and in some areas maybe it's too far gone. But a lot of the woods we can really we have, with enough hands and help, we can do something, I think, to help that. So I look forward to working with Conservation Commission and the town, and of course I'm also on the board of the Boxborough Conservation Trust, so I see it as a collaborative effort that it's all, whether it's BC Trust owned land or town owned land or land under conservation restrictions, it's all important. It's the reason most of us moved to Boxborough. I know it's the reason I moved to Boxborough 31 years ago, is the woods in the schools for our kids, and so I look forward to, with a lot of the group that we have, to continue to take care of these things. So if there's I know my time is limited, but my email is up there for people to contact me if they are interested in getting involved.
Right.
I'm happy to answer any questions if there's time left.
Well, at first, the number of acres and the number of trail miles is astounding. For a town of our size, that's absolutely amazing. So I guess my first thought was, it'd be awesome if we could put these guys on the front page of our website for a week or two with, if you have any pictures you want to share of the bridges or the trails or anything, and we could maybe feature you on our social media, on the website, and because I think if more people knew they could join you, they would. I just see how many people are out in the woods in my little neck of the woods, so I have to believe more people would love to join you.
Yeah, that would be great. I look forward to following up on
send some pictures to Rajan,
doing what we
we'll
can
see what we can do.
Yep, will do.
So Dave, do you kind of coordinate? You have the list of things you want to do, and then you send out emails and say, okay, I want to do this on this Saturday. Who's available? Is that kind of how you're?
Well, when we were like cutting the new trail, we did that. So picked a couple of days and then did it. And if there's other bigger tasks like that, I think when we start to want to build some more bridges and boardwalks, we'll probably schedule a couple of days for those that want to help build them. That's a little bigger job. But as far as, for the most part, it's when the people out walking the trail see something, they contact me, and then I either meet them there or line up someone else to meet them there, depending on which area it is. And it's mostly an as needed, not a regular weekly meeting or anything like that. But I think that will probably change when if we can really work more on invasive plant management, because I think that's going to really take a lot more work, and so I look forward to working with all parties involved on this. Particularly, I've been talking to Sam and Liz and others on the Conservation Commission. We certainly will be working through, as always, through the commission to line up broader, bigger efforts like that.
Well, I have to laugh because I recognize two of the plants. I don't know the Japanese something wort, what it was, but one of my neighbors actually dug up burning bush out of the woods and brought it up, planted it in their yard because they thought it was so pretty. So maybe even having pictures of what those are on the website to say, no, these are not going in your yard. Thank you very much. Or shouldn't go in your yard. That was my mean Nana voice. No, they are not.
Burning bush is no longer legal to sell in Massachusetts in the
that's why they
nursery
dug it out of the
industry,
woods.
but it was, for many decades, it was extremely popular because it is gorgeous red, fiery color in the fall, and it just, now we know it spreads so much that it's not a good thing. But in education, I mean, I should have mentioned that I'm glad you're talking about the website, but I think a lot of what's ahead is to really help the people in the town know and recognize, or just be aware of, that there are some plants that are problematic. And so anything we can do through the BC Trust or Commission or other avenues, to website, et cetera, to try to educate or inform people, and then also, of course, do something about it is the next step.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the next Conservation Trust newsletter, because I always read mine, maybe, unless it's already been in there and I've missed it, but.
Well, see, it's a
I don't
little
think
bit
so.
tricky. This is the effort I'm talking about now is not just BC Trust land. It includes BC Trust land, but of course all the other conservation land too. But it's absolutely something that we've talked a lot about on the
education.
trust. But the trust is absolutely one of our missions is education and helpful inform. So we will certainly do that.
David, are the land stewards also the group that put the trail markers out, the colored, the blue squares or whatever, to
Yes.
say the trail goes this way? Yeah, that's really helpful out there,
Yeah.
so thanks for doing that.
Other than the Sergeant Road, that was all done long before I was involved, but I mean, all the existing trails, but we'll continue to monitor and replace markers as needed.
All right, anything else?
No, I just see the Oriental bittersweet, like pretty much eating up all our mature trees.
Yeah, that's the big vine that climbs up
Yeah,
any height tree. I mean, it just keeps climbing and smothering things, so it's pretty bad.
So if you had it in your yard and you wanted to get rid of it, all I typically do is cut it at the base and let it die, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, that's the first step and the best thing to do. It'll regrow from the roots. So, of course, there are herbicides that can be used, and that's a philosophical as well as a lot of pros and cons to do that. But to really get rid of it, it probably requires that. It's a lot of hand digging and multiple
Those roots are
times
evil.
otherwise.
Yeah,
So
the roots are awful.
if it's one or two plants here and there, then that's manageable. If it's some of the colonies of it that we have around here and there it's going to require a lot of an army of volunteers to keep at it.
I think educating our homeowners is critical. I think a lot of them don't even realize, they just think like it's part of
Right,
the wilderness, right?
yeah.
But until you see the entire tree being covered, and
Yep.
pretty soon dies, yeah.
On the trails, are you maintaining, like, when I say maintaining, like the poison ivy that's along, are you killing that, or how are you controlling that?
We're not really. Maybe the string trimmers are, cutting hand loppers or to cut them away from the trail, and not too many people volunteer to do that with poison ivy.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine. But
We need some goats. We need town goats.
Yeah, we need town goats, but of course, with some of us, I'm pretty fortunate that don't seem to get it too bad. But if you wear the right clothing and wash carefully afterwards, it can be done. But that's another thing that's just up and down the trails and the roads,
Right.
just a lot. So it's
Well, because the reason I mentioned it, we took a walk, my wife and I, and And part of the trail, there was it, but other parts, there wasn't any. I said, I wonder if somebody is maintaining
Yeah.
this and killing this. That's why I asked the question, because I just
Yeah.
noticed. It didn't, I was surprisingly happy there wasn't as much as I found. I really was, so.
Yeah,
I thought there'd be a lot more.
yeah. It's more in disturbed areas along the roads, it's not everywhere, but that's another, if we're tackling invasive plants, we could also, that'll be one of the problematic plants that
Isn't that the
certainly.
Massachusetts state plant, poison ivy? No. Just kidding.
I think it's Foxborough's.
Foxborough's
Yeah,
plant, there you go.
Yeah,
Well, we appreciate everything you and your team do, and hopefully we'll grow your ranks.
yes.
Hopefully there's people watching, they'll be watching this on TV and say, oh, I've got a couple hours to do this.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave,
Well,
for
we will
coming in.
follow up on the website as you suggest and other
Sounds
avenues.
good.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for him before we move on? Anyone on Zoom or anywhere else? No hands, all right. Well, thanks again for coming in
Thank you,
tonight.
David.
Nice to
Thank
meet you
you.
in person.
Thank you, Dave.
All righty, onward to the next thing on our list. New business, introduction of new employees. That would be you, right? No? Who's the
No,
new
He's
employee?
actually on Zoom.
Oh, see, I don't know everybody, so I'm like, who, like, oh, your
So-
face, I don't know.
So Alec
That's
is
Santa.
there to.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Alec is on Zoom with, I believe, Rafi to introduce him.
All right, Alec, would you like to introduce Rafi?
Hey there, everybody. He appears to be running a minute or two. Actually, it's not 7:25 quite yet. So I'd recommend you move on to your next item
Okay.
and go back to him in the following.
Since I've completely embarrassed Santosh, why don't we jump down to you? So welcome. So you're volunteering for the Council on Aging? That's exciting. Do you mind grabbing the microphone? We're going to say hi to you, whether you like it or not. Sorry. So introduce yourself to us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Santosh Verma, and I've been living in Boxborough since 2008. And I have my elderly parents living with us, and they have been using the services of Council of Aging. So I thought I should volunteer. And in my previous life, I worked on like falls among elderly and kind of looking at the issues of like aging in place. So I've been interested in like the issues around aging. So here I
Awesome.
am.
What do your parents like to do? What kind of things do your parents like to do with the Council on Aging? Have they met Dave? Because Dave and Bob, they go to luncheons.
Yeah.
You go to luncheon too? Okay.
I tell you.
So they probably
Yeah,
have
met
more
Becky.
friends than you do, right?
You know, some of us have gray hair, so we
So,
go.
no, some of them, us color their gray hair. But anyway, regardless, what do your parents enjoy? What do they like to do?
So they have utilized a lot of like van services.
Uh-huh.
So they have gone to grocery shopping. They have gone to a few lunches too,
Yeah.
but not that many.
Well, half the room here will be there, if they want to go. Wednesday? Okay. Lasagna on Wednesday. All right, then. Well, we really appreciate you stepping up to volunteer. Does anybody have any questions for Sam?
Just a real question, I'm sorry, what do you actually do now? You said in your prior life, but I was wondering what you do right now.
What do I do right now?
Your full-time job.
Oh, so I am. So I work with pharmaceutical companies and kind of looking at the effect of medicine in the real population. So once they get approved after FDA, are the medicines actually working when it's given to quote unquote like real people in the real world, and what are their side effects? So looking at like continuous safety monitoring. So doing like more research. Yeah.
Are there specific, I don't know the right words to use, diseases or conditions or something that you and your team work on, or is it just whatever comes your way?
So yeah, so my team and I, we are like focused more on the methods. So it's less about specific disease, or it's more about kind of what are the like methods that we use that will be like FDA will look at it and say that these are the robust methods, and the evidence that it has produced is a reliable and valid evidence.
That's amazing.
Cool, good.
Great. Wow, well, thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much.
As all of us gray hairs up here age, we really appreciate this.
Everyone does. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
all right.
I think Santosh is the youngest person.
You might be
for
the youngest
for the
person on the
Council on
COA.
Aging, so we congratulate him.
You're going to be the
on
young
that.
blood.
Chair Bill Latante's on. I don't know if he wants to say.
Oh, Bill, would you like to say hi?
Bill Latan.
Yep.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Bill.
Bill.
How are you? You've got.
I'm well.
Good. No shade on you for saying he's going to be the youngest member of your committee. No shade.
Somebody's got to do it.
Absolutely.
As I warned Santosh, getting involved with this stuff is like organized crime. Once you start, they don't let you stop.
Yeah, we're never letting you go, just so you know. Yeah, Hotel California, organized crime, whatever. Yeah. Well, what's on the agenda for the COA this year? You got the floor for a few minutes.
Well, the big thing that's coming up now, which is one of our more important things, is the Senior Charlie Card sign up.
Oh.
And I don't know who's familiar with that, but what the Senior Charlie Card does is it entitles people 65 or over to ride all MBTA services for half price. So, for example, a typical trip from South Acton into Porter Square or North Station, which is usually over $20, is about $10. It's a big savings. And we've signed up more than 100 people in the last 2 times that we've done that. This time, the MBTA is actually participating. And before we do the actual sign up, they're going to do a sort of an introductory thing on how to use the T and how to best, utilize your transportation initiatives. You can sign up to go to that or just to go to get your card. And the card is free. You just show up, we take your picture, you fill out a form, and they mail it to you, and it's good for 8 years. So that's one of the big things that we're doing.
That's awesome.
So
The,
Bill, I'm Bill.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Quick. When you said just show up where?
It'll be at the community center.
Oh,
Do you get
we'll
lasagna if you show up?
Pardon me?
Do you get lasagna if you show up?
You get lasagna if you do anything with the Council on
Okay,
Aging,
all right.
apparently.
That's awesome.
So that's coming up. The other thing I think we're going to look into renewing is and publicizing a little better is that we've collected a bunch of local businesses that offer discounts to the senior community. I think we're going to look into updating that, making sure everything's still not only viable, but seeing if we can add some more people to that, some more businesses to that rather.
Awesome. Well, let us know how the select board can help, whether it's, getting that information out to people who qualify or helping you, maybe the EDC, the Economic Development Committee might want to help you with that too. I know that Alec will know too. I think there's a list somewhere of all those businesses, but maybe you're already taking advantage of that.
There is, and we'll promote that again both on our website and through emails and through Action Unlimited and on the Acton
Foxborough
News, the Acton
Yeah.
Boxborough website.
Sounds good. Awesome. So what else is going on? Right, Charlie Card, senior discounts, luncheons. You guys are busy.
And exercise programs and all kinds of stuff. Kim D is doing a terrific job coordinating all this stuff out of town hall.
Great.
And it's all, lists of all this stuff is on the website and on our Facebook page.
Okay. Does the Council on Aging have their own Facebook page?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Who knew? The youngest person on your board probably knows. Okay. All right. Well, we kind of got a twofer tonight. This is great. Thank you so much.
Well,
Any
thank you
questions?
guys for all you're doing to support us.
Oh, no, our pleasure. Anything else for Bill or Santosh?
Do you want to make a motion?
I move to appoint Santosh Verma to the Council on Aging Board with a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Fabulous. Any further discussion? Now is your chance to run. You're in? Okay, he's in. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, well, thank you and welcome. We appreciate your
Thank you for coming
service.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're really thrilled that he's joining us.
Thank you. That's awesome. We are too. All right then. Well, thank you guys. All right, we're going to move on to the next.
actually, you want to go back to
Or maybe we want to move up.
Rafi is
Rafi's
here now.
Oh,
there. I think.
Rafi's here. All right, well, we'll move back to that. Alec, would you like to introduce Rafi? Who I did not, I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. So about 4 weeks ago now, we were joined by our associate town planner, as everyone in this room and a lot of people who were informed on the process we went through to bring this position up to full-time with benefits. It's a joy to have that seat filled, and even more of a joy to welcome Rafi to the town of Boxborough. Rafi has a history in the housing field in particular. He has a degree in planning, but I'll let him go over his background, how he found his way to Boxborough, and I can talk about it after the fact, some of the work he'll be doing as well if you have any questions. But Rafi, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself to the board at this point.
So Rafi, just
Hello.
to let you know, we always want to know a little bit about you, why you're interested in Boxborough, and your favorite thing about Boxborough. Go.
Okay, I think maybe that's actually a lot more than I was prepared to state, but
Well, this is a test. This is a
that's
test.
fine. So of course, as Alex said,
Alex
I'm
didn't
the
warn
new.
you? Jeez, Alec.
No, he didn't. But as he said, I'm the new associate planner. I started on August 12th, so I think that's about 3 weeks actually, but I can't really count. I think it's 4 actually. Yeah. So I was at the BPDA, the Boston Planning and Development Agency, for 2 years prior to this. I went to school at Northeastern for both my undergrad and my master's, which was in sociology and then urban planning. So about a year before I graduated the second time, I started working at the BPDA on the housing policy team. I was the AFFH assistant. So I was in charge of the Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing program and administering that, which was just a review program for large projects with housing in the city of Boston. Anything over 50,000 square feet had to go through a review process that ensured that the project was furthering the goals of fair housing, which wasn't in place prior to March 2021. But I was there for about 2 years, and then in June, I left that position because I had the planning degree. I wanted to get involved within planning somewhere, and I thought this would be a great place to start just because I think the size of the team is much smaller. At Boston, there was, several different departments and, of course, hundreds and hundreds of people working all for the city in various different areas, and it was difficult to sort of, feel the impact at times and feel as if the work that I was doing specifically was making a huge impact. But it was great to join onto the team here and start to get to work and figuring out what exactly it's like to be in a town like this within the planning department. And I think, it's only been a few weeks, so it's kind of difficult for me to sort of like figure out like what exactly makes this town unique. But I think it's been very interesting, at least, driving through the area, just like on my lunch break, looking for different places to try, and, just seeing exactly how the area is set up. And I look forward to doing more of that and getting to know more people in the coming months.
Wonderful. So what I heard you say is you came to us because we were a smaller community where you felt you could make a larger difference, make a bigger impact, just because you'll have a little more exposure, a little more space.
Right. I think, this is the exact kind of setting that I want to start out in, is like knowing what it's like to just be able to have a direct impact with the work that I'm doing, and, get a great understanding of what it's like to actually be a planner in, this kind of a setting.
Well, you have a great mentor in Alec, and you have a lot of support sitting at the table here. So welcome to town. Does anybody have any questions for Rafi?
I guess, Alex, is the plan to have Ralphie join some of the meetings for the ZBA and the planning board, or is that going to come later?
So as of right now, Rafi's responsibilities are to assist me with the planning board. So we tag team them, given the higher density of work they have to get done. We'll work out between the two of us who will do what roles as we go. Additionally, Rafi is supporting the Conservation Commission effective from week 1, as well as the Housing Board, leveraging some of the work that he's previously done. And a unique part to an assistant town planner usually has 1 or 2 boards. An associate town planner is given more project management opportunities. And Rafi, in that regard, gets to also select a 4th committee. And so far, Rafi has met with the Economic Development Committee. The Sustainability Committee will be meeting later this week. Rafi will be joining them. And the CPC, he will be meeting in the month of October. And he'll get to select of those 3 which ones he wants to take the lead as the staff point of contact and project manager for. But already we've vested him on certain key projects so he can grow that project management side, and he'll be a great support, especially of the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board.
Excellent,
Awesome.
great, thanks, Alex, appreciate the clarification. Appreciate it.
Rafi, it's going to be hard to choose, and then the two that you don't choose, their feelings are going to be hurt, and, you know, it's just going to be a
No
tough
pressure.
one.
Hey, hey,
No
hey.
No, I
pressure.
think y'all will survive.
What's that?
I think everyone will be able to survive.
Okay, all right, I just want you to be sure. You're sure. All right, anything else? Any questions from the floor, from Zoom for Rafi? No? Would someone like to make a motion?
It's just an introduction. It's no motion
Oh,
required.
I'm sorry. I thought we were, okay, you're right. Never mind, just an introduction.
Welcome, Rafi.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Rafi. Welcome, Rafi. And yes, this is exactly who I am. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right, well, moving right along. Chris, you are here. You have a resignation. You have new members. You want to say hi? Yeah. All right. So this is Chris Heideck from the Steel Farm Committee.
Howdy, guys.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Yeah, I have two things. One, John Skinner has resigned from the Steel Farm Committee.
Yeah.
He worked many years on the committee and even before that with Steel Farm, and we're very sad that he's decided to take a step back, but he's still around and available for inquiries and help whenever we need it. So we definitely thank John for so many years on the committee.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
John.
Thank you, John.
But we need your institutional knowledge, so, answer
Yeah.
those emails.
And he's still consulting too,
He-
because I think there was a question about the color on the paint.
Yeah, he got us the exact color
emails
that
were
the
theirs.
barn was painted.
Awesome.
So, which we're going to be painting a community service project to paint the ice house, since the ice house is now redone.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be asking the community to come out and paint it to help us paint.
I have a 4-year-old granddaughter who'd love to help. Just give her a brush. She's there.
It's perfect. It's going to be
Maybe
all
a
white.
permanent marker in the other hand.
Yeah, that's fine. It's for the community anyway.
So before you start, should we?
No, we can do the resignation. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I move to accept the resignation of John Skinner from the Steel Farm Committee with great appreciation for his service.
Second,
With regrets, yes. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the resignation, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Okay, there we go.
But one door closes, another one opens,
That's
and we
right.
have
Not
a new
always opens the
volunteer
window.
who wants to join our merry band. Katie Coyne has offered to join our committee, which we're very excited because she has a green thumb, which none of us do or aren't willing to just put in the time, right? So Katie came to our last meeting. She's very enthusiastic about it, wants to get more involved. We're obviously very happy to have her and to grow our committee. We have a lot of work. A lot of work has gone on this year, and the more volunteers, the better. So we're very excited for Katie to be joining our committee.
That's all. Now, do you have landscaping plans over there? Is that the? It says she has a green thumb. No plans yet.
No, exactly.
no.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to have a replacement. So, any further questions for Chris? Katie's not here, so we can't torture her. No? All right.
So, okay, well, I move to appoint Katie Coyne to the Steel Farm Committee with a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Alrighty then, off we go. Well, thank you. Oh, please.
One more
please,
thing.
Please. You've got the floor.
We have a party. We're actually having a celebration,
Yeah.
October 19th from 2 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the town of Boxborough buying the Steel Farm property.
Amazing. All right, well,
It's a
what kind of support
Saturday.
do you need?
It's a Saturday from 2 to 4.
Okay.
All we request is people to come out. People can come out and bring their dogs. We'll have some little treats here or there for people and/or dogs.
Great.
And it'll be at Steel Farm?
We thought that would be appropriate, yeah.
All right.
or the Duncan, either way.
They'll try.
I think you
They'll try.
You said it, not me, actually. Thank you. That's good.
So y'all are welcome to attend.
You know, you should maybe perhaps talk to Mike about being able to use the Lighty Uppy Signies thing.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And
The
maybe
Lighty
we could-
Uppy Shiny things.
Lighty Uppy Shiny things. Maybe we could put it across, on 111
Excellent.
or whatnot, and let people know. I mean,
Sure.
I go past Steel Farm all the time, but not everybody does. All right, great, and we'll get it on the website and do all that other stuff. Okay, excellent. And
Thank
let
you.
us know if,
Thank you,
if
Chris.
any of us
Thanks
can
for
help
coming
with
in.
anything else.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we have some more guests here tonight. would you guys like to step up and say hi and talk about our FEMA grant? You get to introduce yourself and, you know.
Hopefully I don't need an introduction, but if I do, for those who don't know me, Captain Malinowski, I'm a per diem captain with the fire department.
I like to see you on Zoom, so, you know, this is nice.
I know. So we are here tonight for a very good reason. We were notified in August that FEMA had awarded the town of Boxborough $61,254.
Alec, that's the number you have to beat now, Alec. $61,000.
Right.
Yours was only 50, right? No? Okay.
We won't have a competition.
I'm very competitive.
That is 95% of the total cost to buy a power stretcher and the associated lift module into our ambulance. And this was the first time we've submitted a, they call it an AFG, Assistance to Firefighters Grant, for this particular item. This is the same program we were unsuccessful in for the tender hose wagon discussion we had a few years with you. And we were just very fortunate to have the support of FEMA for this. Also important to note, the legislative delegation from Massachusetts this year did a lot of work on behalf of towns and other fire departments to try to advance as many of these grants as possible, but you never know.
Right.
So the importance of this grant is not only for the safety of the patient, hopefully never any of you, but also the firefighters and EMTs that are operating that on a daily basis. There's a ton of statistics, most of which were in our actual application, about how it reduces the potential injury to all of us and when we're operating on emergency scenes. So we look forward to taking delivery of it in the future, but we need you to all accept the grant first. And the good news is we hope that we can continue this on an annual basis for something else next year. This is something we do apply for something different every year based on our capital needs. It's usually something capital in nature, and this was obviously something that was tied to last year's warrant article as well, with everyone, the town's support of the ambulance.
Well,
So-
this is amazing. And in all seriousness, I just want to say, and I know the whole board feels this way, we are so fortunate to have all the people in town that work so hard and that are finding these grants and bringing this to town. It improves everyone's quality of life, your safety, our safety, people driving through town safety. So in all seriousness, thank you. I didn't mean to cast, again, I'm just, I get competitive. Anyway, any further questions for Jason?
Jason,
Captain Malinowski.
Yeah, the 61,000 is fantastic, and that's great. I just have a question. Is that to reimburse us, or is this for a new stretcher for a new ambulance? How's that going to work?
So the stretcher that's in the current ambulance,
Yep.
that is still 2 years away from the actual delivery of a replacement ambulance. And
Oh, that
you know,
one?
we've
Okay.
yeah,
we won't
but
go there.
everything has warranty in support, right? That will be out of its lifetime. So the intent is that it replaces that. Obviously, there's still a discussion of what we're going to do upon delivery of the new ambulance as well.
Okay. So this, okay, no, yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. All right, so you would like us to move to approve that, huh?
Yes, please.
I move to approve the Federal Emergency Management Agency Assistance to Firefighters Grant in the amount of $61,245 and no cents.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
Just saying thank you. Nice job.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
On a side note, and related to that, the fire chief sent an email earlier to the board with a lot of statistics and information on that I think was also included in Captain Malinowski's original application that they were awarded. And it talks about the significance of these power stretchers. The highest incidence of injuries for firefighter EMTs is orthopedic injuries, specifically back injuries from lifting patients on a daily basis. So the award of this, or what this would cost for one of these power stretchers, they're very expensive, as you can tell. $61,000 is 95% of the cost of this power stretcher. But what is saved in risk is far outweighed. When somebody is out on a back injury, you could be talking out for a month or more, and multiple injuries per year. to our medical providers. So this is just a huge, as far as, protecting our workers, but it's also a cost savings to the town for people who are out injured, and then, we pay somebody else to come in, and so it's just a win-win-win all around. So thank you, Captain Malinowski.
Excellent. Alrighty, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Wonderful, we accept it, yay! All right, so who's giving us the hazard mitigation plan update?
Alec.
Alec is, alrighty.
I think it's basically sitting in your, it's in your packet, and it's the one that you reviewed previously, so I think he's probably just gonna give a quick executive overcap, and then you vote to accept it.
Sure.
Yes, you got that right, Mike. That is the 300+ page document that is occupying far too much of your agenda this evening. It's a very large document, but it covers a huge number of factors, and it talks a lot about what Captain Malinowski and the team over at the fire and police departments do on a daily basis. The purpose of a hazard mitigation plan, as you've heard multiple times by Jamie Kaplan of Kaplan Consulting, who supported the town in drafting and preparing this plan. As you heard many times, the point of this plan is to mitigate the risk of various natural disasters and hazards. Not all natural, in some cases wildfire, which we noted is a potentially growing risk from now in 2015, the last time we adopted a plan. We were lucky. We went out to FEMA. FEMA was willing to support and fund the town's hazard mitigation plan. We went through approximately an 8 to 9 month process working with department heads, various other stakeholders, members of the community, members of boards and committees to draft a plan that would prepare us for the future realities, whether it be flood risk, landslide, we talked wildfires, so many different things that could go wrong, and drafting this plan to help pave a path and activate funding to ensure that we take steps to prevent these things in the future. Valid hazard mitigation plan is incredibly important because it activates so much funding that our emergency management team can then access to create a safer community here in Boxborough. And I was very excited to bring this plan forward and get it back on track. We had actually been out of compliance for a few years by the time we kicked this process off, and so I was very eager to bring this one forward. And after a multi-month review by the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency as well as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, we have received word that it has been conditionally approved. Now that condition is very simple, it's very short and sweet. You as the select board must motion to adopt this plan. So I've provided you with a motion. We've provided you with a draft resolution, and Mike, I just need from you, I believe this is the first policy that the select board has adopted this year, perhaps a later one, but this would be resolution number, whichever policy it is. And by passing the motion as I've given you with that number inserted, you will adopt this plan, and the town will immediately become accessible to certain pre- and post-disaster funding.
Cool.
Just own this, you gotta own this.
And if I don't know that number and we just say adopt as proposed and we put the number in afterwards, that would be fine, right?
Entirely acceptable. We can just figure out the number after the fact.
Perfect.
Oh, that was a little scary there.
Well, then I move to adopt the hazard mitigation plan update as presented. Is there any further is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Alec, you said we will be eligible for funding. Is it also like more for a preventive measure, or how does that?
Or cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah. At its core, a hazard mitigation plan and the funding that comes with it is meant for pre-disaster. So what are you doing to prevent future disasters? That being said, there are certain post-disaster funds that are only accessible to communities who have adopted their plan and demonstrated to the federal agency that they are keeping up to date on the growing risks.
Alec, remind me, I know one of the things that we face is truck rollovers on 495. I can't remember, is there anything in the mitigation plan about preparing for hazardous waste, or is that something the fire department does with the hazardous waste management team?
No, so hazardous waste is not something covered under a hazard mitigation plan. This is predominantly natural disasters.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I'd seen anything about that, but as I'm
No,
thinking
yeah,
about
the-
what could happen.
The fire department coordinates that with the state if it's on 495 and it falls under their jurisdiction as far as all that.
Thank you. All right, perfect. Okay, great. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? All right, we have a hazard mitigation plan. Fabulous. I want to
Thank
take a
you,
break.
everybody.
What's that?
So, thank you, everybody.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Don't go
Alex.
anywhere. Marie, I see that you're here. Are you here to?
I just came in case, I don't have a lot of time, but Becky said that you guys already talked about the,
You wanna,
Do you mind grabbing the
You
microphone?
gotta grab
'Cause-
it, Mike, sorry.
Sorry, that's just the rule.
anything or not.
It's all right.
I know.
People are gonna wonder what you said.
Yeah,
Marie Cannon, Board of Health. Oh, that's loud.
we all know
You
you're.
can back up, you don't
Well,
want to.
no, this is actually a great opportunity because I don't know a lot about it. I know that it's a mosquito-borne illness. I know that my pregnant daughter shouldn't be near mosquitoes right now. But I don't know why or where or, so anything you want to offer. Believe it or not, a lot of people will watch this later.
What do you mean, the
Well, I
Triple
don't
E
know a
West
lot.
Nile thing?
I know we're
or-
spraying for mosquito-borne
Okay.
illnesses, but I don't know a lot about, like, from the Board of Health
All right,
perspective.
I'll give you a little bit of background, try to keep it brief. So in the spring, the Board of Health, I'm trying to think how many years ago, we decided to implement a larvicide plan, and that's for prevention. And the purpose of that in the spring is to reduce the, still too
stand
close
back,
to this
yeah.
thing, to reduce the, just the exposure to mosquitoes, because in the spring they're, pretty nasty.
Yeah.
And we've noticed a big difference over the years. I mean, we've been doing this for, I don't know how long, because I've been on the board so long, so I have no idea how many. Could be 20 years for all I know.
My parents were alive, so yeah, it's been a long time.
So, but originally we started that program because at the time that I came to town, the town was involved in this, the spray that they're doing this week, and with the drive-by and that kind of thing. And the mass mosquito control project, I think their best work that they do is in that spring, because it is a huge drop in the whole mosquito exposure. And they have sampling, like over at the fire station, there's wetlands, those are sampled. They have all these different locations in town where they sample the larva, check and see when they're gonna hatch, and then get them just as they're hatching so that they don't exist, or basically, I mean, it's no 100%, but
Right.
but anyone who goes to baseball games in the spring knows that that's a huge advantage. And so we do Flair Field, baseball, all the senior area, definitely by the school. And I have we have a map, we go back and forth with the mass mosquito control. Now, there's a new person now, somebody just retired that was always here with us and, or serving us, and now it's Tim I'm trying to
You're
think
good
of
if
his
you can
name.
remember.
Tim
It was-
McGlinchey.
Tim McGlinchey.
Wow, you
Because
guys are
before
good.
that, it was another Tim. Sorry.
That makes it easy.
But they're awesome people. We go back and forth, and I have emails that I go with them every year, and been doing it. So most people, I think, appreciate it and know how important it is. The people that are most suspicious of it are, a little bit hesitant, or some of the beekeeper people, and we had a comment this week about that, but I'll just say that for the larvicide that is done in the spring, we have all kinds of data on it. It's like the most harmless you could get as far as affecting the bees and animals and any any kind of, doesn't affect dogs or anything like that. But the spray that we're going to do is different because that's now what a lot of people have. It's more similar to what like yard people do. You
Right,
know,
like you
the,
pay one of the mosquito companies to come
right,
and do
and
your
you
yard.
remember way back when, which we haven't seen them too often in Boxborough because of the larvicide we do.
Right.
They used to drive down the road and
Oh, the
do
foggers?
spraying.
Yeah. You wouldn't even know
On
they
all
were
the
coming. You
roads.
just hear them and your mother would yell, close the windows!
Exactly. So
Remember, Becky?
we don't do that anymore.
Right.
The rare cases where, like, there was maybe a EEE sample found, and we go back and forth with the mosquito control people and you know, say, oh, can you come back and address the school and the fields? And usually we kind of focus that, if that happens at all, but I can count on one hand how many times that's happened in the past 15 years.
Yeah.
But, so they're a great operation. They're and they serve all over the state and definitely work hard.
Well, so who initiated the request? To me, it feels really fast, which I think is amazing. We had the EEE report in Acton, and here they are. They're here tomorrow spraying. Like, who initiated getting all that going? Was it you guys? Was it Neshoba? Was it the state?
Well, the state, oh, you can't hear me? No. I was too loud for the longest time.
Well, I want to give credit where credit is due, because I appreciate.
Well, I
the
know
quick-
we've been on the phone with, Jim Griffey, who's our
Neshoba Board of
awesome
Health.
agent,
Yep.
Neshoba Boards of Health. And we're always on the same page with this kind of stuff anyway. But he jumped right in, and I've been getting, and everyone's been seeing the notices from the state, and, you know, I don't know, I've probably gotten, probably 40 notices over the past several months. And most of it has been just saying that the risk is higher, this and that. And then recently, there's been some, man, over 60-year-old man or whatever had EEE, or, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily died from it, but,
Diagnosed.
diagnosed
Yeah.
or, a positive result. So just hearing that, people get alerted. So they're going to do the spray, the car, the drive-by thing this week. Actually, it'll be just one evening after. They'll do it. They won't start till after 7:30 or
that was
after
my
dark.
understanding.
They want to do it after dark because people that are concerned about bees. After dark, the expectation is the bees are already kind of hovering and going in their hive, and they it should just reduce the risk to
Well, we appreciate
to the
that too.
bees,
The
so.
sensitivity to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Great. Well, like I said again, thank you to the Board of Health and for jumping on this so quickly. So galvanizing.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. Well, Jim's great, and I had nothing else to do at work today.
Does anybody have any questions for Marie? Any questions from the Zoom? All right. Well, thank you also for running in here, at my request at the last minute.
Oh,
Thank you very
no
much.
problem. I have a call with my son now.
Okay, bye.
All right. Thank you, Marie.
Thanks, Marie.
Thanks, Marie.
Okay. So the next thing on our agenda are some land gifts, and Mike's going to speak to this because at our last meeting, we were talking to a developer about a land gift, and I was truly under the impression that it had to go to town meeting. We have some new information. There's gray areas, so I'm going to turn it over to Mike and Alec, between the two of you guys, to kind of update the board on all of this. And
Sure. The difference between this and the last land donation discussion is that there's no money, no back taxes, anything like that involved in this, nor are there back taxes on the other one. But with the other one, there, in the discussion, there was talk about that land, that was 50 Taylor Farm Road, was expected to be accepted by the town 2 years ago, and it wasn't. So the I think the consensus was that the town would make good on what it should have done 2 years ago and pay back at least what has been paid back paid in taxes. Now, while we truly can't pay back the taxes, what we're putting together right now is language that would allow a purchase, if you will, of the equal amount of the taxes that have been paid that would not have otherwise been paid by the developer if the town had come through as was expected after the Conservation Commission and the planning board had voted to put that land into conservation restriction.
Let's stop there. Does anybody have questions about that?
I have no idea what he said, so.
Okay, that's why I figured. I was like, does everyone?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think what you're saying, Mike, is that because you can't give taxes back, you can't rebate those taxes, but we could purchase the land, the town could purchase the land for the amount equal to what he paid in those taxes.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way to give an abatement after the books have been closed, and we're trying to do right by the developer because he did pay 2 years of taxes, and that's a mechanism, and it's a heck of a lot nicer than other methods of that happening. So we'll be bringing it to town meeting. It'll be town meeting's decision.
So the town is gonna buy, we're gonna buy that property.
We're suggesting.
Yes, right.
Alex, do you want to speak to this a little bit? Because I think you've talked to the developer about it.
Al-
No, not
So
yet?
Glenn and I have not talked in depth, but I think Mike and I Mike and I are reading the room based on the last meeting. It was a clear sentiment that many, not just the board, but members of the public, members of other boards were expressing that they felt there was a way to kind of make this situation whole with the other parcel. And so the method for that is to go forward to town meeting versus these two parcels that we're going to talk about in just a moment being much more clean, transparent, and easy to process.
Okay.
So, Alex, so we can't abate the taxes that were paid, so the town is gonna pay for conservation land? Is this what is being proposed, that we will send to the town in the spring? Is that correct?
So,
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we would have to decide, but go ahead, Mike.
Right.
right, that would be a town meeting vote. So the decision is that, I feel, and I think some others may as well, that had the town made good with that developer 2 years ago, they wouldn't have paid 2 years' worth of taxes.
Right.
So the vote at town meeting, if that's to move forward, would be for voters to decide would they pay that equal amount of what has been paid in taxes back to that developer to donate the land to the town, to be put into the conservation restriction that it was originally intended to be. So that has to go to town meeting because there's money involved. We have to authorize that money. The two parcels that are on your agenda tonight, there is nothing owed, there's no money, it's just they're straight donations. They're very simple, so I have consulted with town council, and the board could vote to authorize the Conservation Commission to accept the donation of this land. The other thing is that any work that needed to be done, like surveying of this land or anything, Conservation already has money put aside to do that. So there would be no town meeting authorization even for that work. So you're not voting anything attached to any money. And I'll let Alec take over from there to discuss or answer any questions that you might have on the two pieces of property that have been offered for donation to the town for conservation purposes.
Thank you, Mike. Alec, one question I have. The new property that we're talking about, I believe it's 654 Rear Hill Road. Is there a map you could show up, or I guess my question is this in the middle of somebody else's property, or is there a public access to it? How would a person get to it to be for conservation uses?
Yep, so you can go ahead and pull up. It is the second part of the packet for this agenda item. You'll note that each of these items on the agenda includes a letter from the property owner initiating the process, and further that we've prepared mapping documents to go alongside it. And so for the host of the meeting, you're going to go to page 353 of the document.
Sorry, 353, okay.
So to make it quicker, if you click down where it says 128, it should allow you to type in 353.
Did you hear that, Kelly? If you click on the 132, you should be able to type in 354. Is that what you said?
353.
353, sorry. There we go.
And just hit enter.
Magic. All right. Thank you. We all learned something new.
Perfect. So, evaluating, I'm going to take a step back and I'm just going to provide a little further explanation. So, since the Taylor Farm Road parcel was first discussed, we've received a ton of feedback from neighbors, from board members, even from members of your own board, coming to me and asking, Alec, what went wrong here? What was missed? How was it missed? How do we make sure this isn't done again? And to that end, our town clerk's office and our conservation team through Mary had already been working on this process before Mike and I even arrived in office. This only highlighted to us the increased need to have a formal process for how parcels like these are considered for acceptance by the town. At its core, a piece of land, when it's offered as a gift of donation, regardless of the tax value, although of course some are much larger than others, some are maybe more buildable and may have less connectivity. Regardless, it can be handled the same way nearly as, say, a donation of a bench for a park. You have the right to accept donations when they're given at no value to the town. In many cases, when a piece of land is offered to the town, it is a small, isolated piece like this. So you'll see on this map, you have a little triangle highlighted in bold yellow. That piece of land, half an acre, it's currently unbuildable. I mean, feasibly, you could merge it with the parcel in front of it and you could build on it at a later date and time. But the parcel shown to you in purple, just north of it, actually represents active conservation land, specifically the Have-Not Pond Conservation Area. Now, underneath that purple overlay, you see that it's kind of a red line, but it's a defined line that comes in from Hill Road on the right-hand side, and it goes the entire length of the parcel. That's actually a trail represented on the map. And so with the connectivity of existing conservation land attached, as well as an active trail network, this is a case where a donation has been offered. It's come to us through the Conservation Commission, so it was given to Mary and the rest of the land use team, including myself. We've prepared this draft map. In fact, I think Mary prepared this one in particular.
Thank you, Mary.
Actually, no. I think, correction, this one was prepared by Rafi, the next was prepared by Mary. They both took a stab at prepping these, but we hope that this kind of helps visualize the purpose. So ultimately, we in the land use and permitting team are recommending to you, the select board, having searched the previous planning board and zoning board of appeals files, having searched the registry of deeds to ensure there are no encumbrances, and having conferred that there are no owed taxes at this time, we are coming to you with the recommendation that you authorize the Conservation Commission to accept this parcel of land. This is a standard process allowed by Mass General Law, and the Conservation Commission, as Mike said, sets aside money every year through CPC contribution to be able to process deeds, to prepare legal documents, to pull full title searches if necessary, but to do the due diligence necessary to affirm that this parcel is ready and appropriate for acceptance. So far, everything's pointing in that direction, and so we advise you, the select board, to put it in the hands of the conservation, who are the experts in this case.
Great. That was my question that you answered. I just want to make sure that if we accepted this as conservation, there was a way for the public to get to it. And you said there was already a trail that would connect to it. So that answers my question. Thank you.
Yep.
So Alec, how did this come about? Did the families approach us? Did we approach them? I mean, these are very, very nice gifts.
So in many cases, we're approached by families. As the planning board in particular is well aware, I take meetings multiple times a day sometimes with property owners who come to us and say, what can I do with my land? And sometimes with small parcels like this, I just have to break the tough news to them. It's not a buildable parcel. Unfortunately, there's nothing that you can do in the realm of profit. You, of course, can offer it in a sale or exchange with other people, but in both of these cases, the property owners came forward to us and actually offered the donation in hand.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Margaret Delano. Thank you, John Erickson, for thinking of us and bringing this to add to our 1,200 acres of conservation land. This is amazing. Much, much appreciated.
Okay, good.
Oh, Dave Erickson, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
John was Dave's
David,
father.
the son, and
Yeah.
this is right.
They used to ride their horse. Well, so the Delanos had a sheep farm. We had a sheep farm, and the Ericksons had horses.
Right.
A million years ago.
Right.
Well, maybe 20, 40, 50. I don't know.
20.
Ruthie had a horse until really recently.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
2 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Well, thank you very, very much for bringing this to the town. We appreciate it.
Good. All right.
All right. Anything else? Any questions from the floor, from the Zoom people?
Nope.
You guys, any hands up? I can't see anything. All good?
Yeah, no.
All righty. I move to authorize the Conservation Commission to accept a gift of land located at 654 Rear Hill Road at their discretion and following due diligence.
Second.
Any-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you, Margaret. Next, I move to authorize the Conservation Commission to accept 342 and 342 Rear Hill Road at their discretion and following due diligence.
Is
Second.
it both 342 and 342?
342
Rear.
And
342
342 rear, yeah,
You
that's
see
two
that?
parcels, right?
Yeah,
Right,
I
Alec?
see it, but like, what is the first 342?
It is.
That would be
That's the
around the corner,
It's a
going down the
space-
hill.
It's between
Do you have a map,
Gribben's
Alec?
house and
Al,
Yeah,
get
Yep.
the map
between
of that.
Grevins,
house,
yeah,
yeah.
which I think of as the White's house, yes, with the Grevins house and, yeah.
Kelly's pulling up the map right now.
Oh, there
It's
it
down on
is.
355.
But the first one doesn't have, like, it still says 342 and 342 rear? It kind of
Alex,
is
you want to explain
weird.
the parcels?
So this is a unique and separate parcel from the one we just discussed. You'll see that there's a parcel that collects its frontage immediately on Hill Road, and then further there's a triangular parcel
Yeah.
directly north of that does not collect frontage, which ultimately makes it unbuildable. Not to mention the sheer volume of wetlands. But as you can see here on this map, the adjacent red land is currently in conservation, and so there's great connectivity. Notably, if the trail on the right-hand side, which is underneath the red overlay, but you can faintly see that line on the map, it's crooked, it's jagged, and it moves all over. If for any reason that became inaccessible, this would potentially provide us a secondary means, or in this case, a third means of access to the parcel for us to respond to any emergencies.
No, I just wanted to make sure that the address was accurate.
Well, no,
Because
and
it's-
actually it's nice to have a map so people can see exactly where it is. Like, all of us are going, between this house and that house. Yeah. All right, fabulous. But there was a second, right?
yes.
All righty. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? All right, that also is unanimous. Thank you so much to the Erickson family, same thing. Really appreciate your donation to the town.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
so now we have 1,202 acres, Alec?
Roundabout, add tip.
I'm a rounder. Everyone knows I'm a rounder. Okay. Well, thank you, and thank you for working with the landowners too. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks,
Good
Alec.
Thanks,
night.
Alec.
Night out.
Okay, next, the annual town meeting target calendar. Mike, Kelly, Rajan, who wants to talk about it?
So I think Kelly's
Kelly,
going to
you've
put
been
it up on
working
the
on it.
screen for you.
This is a thankless job, Kelly, as you have to figure out every other date in the world that might possibly happen that night.
So this calendar does overlap a little bit with our special town meeting calendar. So special town meeting is February 10th. Annual town meeting is, the first night of it is May 12th. So you will see some overlap between this one and the calendar that you did several weeks ago. I'll call out a couple. There are a lot of dates on here. This is a planning calendar that we use internally, as well as with department heads and boards, committee, and commission chairs to pull the whole warrant together for annual town meeting and our finance team. But some of the big dates that you need to be aware of, the warrant opening on November 12th, and then about a month later, on December 9th, the warrant closes, and then we'll go through 3 stages of presenting it to the select board, and then the following evening, the FinCom for 3 meetings in a row. And then we'll move it to final recommendations, and then get it to the printer. But there's a lot of dates there. We have vetted those through the calendar with your current meeting dates, as well as we sent these dates past Tony Newton, who's the chair of the FinCom, to make sure he was in concurrence with the way this flows, and also touch base with the town moderator. There are several meetings with him along this calendar to get us from now to town meeting. The first thing on there is that I'll be sending out a memo to all departments, boards, and committees and commissions towards the end of October to let, with this calendar attached, if you approve it, letting people know this is the plan to get us to town meeting in May.
Any thoughts?
No, it's fine. Mike, has the FinCom seen this yet? This
Yeah,
calendar?
Tony.
Not the entire FinCom, but we did review the flow of this calendar with the chair of the FinCom.
And Tony was okay with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it look like the budget Saturday is much earlier, or is it just me?
So it is the first Saturday in February, which happens to be the 1st of February.
No, budget
The budget
Saturday is the
Saturday.
4th.
Saturday in January.
January.
Oh, yeah.
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 Gosh, we'll just be
Yeah.
over the holidays.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still,
So I think last
still
year,
on the 12th is Christmas.
last year it fell on
God.
about the 6th or 7th of January, so it's a few days earlier this year, which is where the first Saturday in January falls. And then you'll notice in February, the first Saturday in February
Is on the
actually falls
first-
on the 1st of
first,
February.
yeah.
So it does come quick.
Everything
Yeah.
is sooner.
Yeah.
What's up?
So I'm looking at Budget Saturday and Capital Saturday, and they're 2 days apart, but they're both Saturdays.
Yeah.
Am I reading that wrong?
Oh, because one should be January.
Oh, no, okay,
no,
I'm reading it
No,
wrong.
no.
I did the
scroll
same
down.
thing.
I
Yeah,
did the
yeah.
same-
Kelly,
Yeah,
can you-
okay.
is it, oh, you can't highlight
No,
this
no,
on
it's-
Excel
it-
anymore.
it's-
Yeah, budget Saturday is January, capital Saturday is
February.
So
That's
put
what
your
February,
breakfast
okay,
orders in.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think we
yeah.
should do baked French toast
did
this
the
year.
same thing.
Yeah.
Brianne, what do you think? We'll plan the menu.
Well, they can't both be
So the
Saturdays.
women
I
are gonna
know.
do January and the men are gonna do February. We have high expectations
What?
for breakfast.
Who said this?
I did, I'm a chair.
We just did.
All right, so does anybody,
Whoa, here.
can I move to accept the 2026 fiscal year annual town meeting target calendar as presented?
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor of the men bringing breakfast on
Oh,
February?
see, here we go.
Yeah.
No, any further discussion? Any questions, anyone? No? Alrighty, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstain. That would be unanimous.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
for
you,
that.
Kelly. I know that was a
Thank
lot
you,
of work.
Kelly.
That's a lot of
Thanks,
day. Keep us honest.
So, okay.
Just don't
We're
bring
almost
us
done, you
breakfast,
guys.
okay? No breakfast, all right?
Oh, then no breakfast. Fine. We'll have breakfast and we won't share. How about that?
Okay.
Old business. All right. So we're going to talk tonight about nonpartisan signage. Mike has some updates for us on that one.
Yes.
So we are going to pass over it, but you'll see why.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure. You have to go to the mic though.
You gotta,
You got to go to the mic.
And the first Saturday in January is January 4th, not the 2nd.
Yeah, that's what it said. January 4th.
Oh, did it? Okay, I thought it said
Yeah,
January
it's January
2nd.
4th, and then I think February.
Yeah, you didn't say, yeah.
February.
did the same.
That's the annual town report.
Yeah, it's
Due to
because we're like,
administrative
it's
office of the
because it's a
second.
long
You gotta
line.
put, Becky,
Yeah.
just make it a little bigger, it'll.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just-
Our brains,
You know, next time we'll color it.
our brains connected.
All you old people.
Oh, see ya.
Good one. Okay, Mike, talk to us about signage for elections.
So on the partisan sign, something that was brought up at a previous meeting, several meetings back. So the discussion was about if I can summarize, the League of Women Voters has traditionally put out, or at least for the last couple of years that I'm aware of, maybe longer, signs encouraging people to vote whenever there are elections coming up. And candidate signs, maybe even article signs, or a particular vote for this or that or the other thing, signs have shown up around these on town property. And we were asked if the board could establish a procedure or a policy or a vote to not allow partisan signs or particular candidate or issue signs, in conjunction with these, the League of Women Voters come out and vote signs. So I did seek an opinion from council as recommended, and they said it's not a simple answer. However, the best and cleanest way that they recommended we do this is not allow any signs on town property other than signs the town puts out. So even though they recognize that the League of Women Voters is an honorable group doing a good thing, trying to get the voters out, what we might consider doing is coming up with our own sandwich board signs or other signs with giving credit to no particular organization or group or person, and just come out to vote Tuesday. And then we get away from, because what happens is, if you recall, within the last year or so, the city of Boston lost a case where it was allowing some flags but not others, and it was a freedom of speech issue. This falls under the same thing. If you allow one group, however noble, to do something and another group or person not to, you are, as a government, we are selectively listening to or selectively allowing people to voice. And so council recommended that we do all or nothing. And they said that we have a clear history on not allowing the political signs out there, so it's easy to say those aren't allowed, but they recommended that we also not allow any other signs other than the signs that the town puts out. So, but in speaking with this about this with Kristen earlier, we thought it might be best to for me to give you a little bit of the background information and then take it up at a future meeting with further information.
My reason was that, the League of Women Voters brought it to us. They didn't have a representative to send tonight. I wanted to give them an opportunity to speak to it before we made a vote. But I was thinking that the compromise, would be that the town clerk could organize, get out the vote kind of a thing in Boxborough. But if anybody feels differently, we could, that was my intent though. Wait till they had a chance to speak to it.
Well, it sounds like we've already not allowed any particular political group to do it, and now, Mike, you're suggesting the easiest way for us is not to allow the League of Women Voters to even put their signs on town property.
Not quite. What happened? The real issue is that the League of Women Voters can't be within a certain distance of people running for office or expressing their political opinion because they need to stay neutral. So the problem is everybody was putting signs on town land. And so what Mike is saying is and so they were saying, could you prohibit political signs on town land?
Right.
Let us put ours there, but no
Right.
political. And what town council has said is, no, that's discrimination. It's all or nothing.
Right.
So that's when we came up with a compromise that maybe we could have our own signs designed.
But
And-
the League of Women Voters wouldn't be allowed.
Nobody would be allowed to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right, that's why I wanted to give them an opportunity
Right.
to speak to it.
Right, yeah, okay.
Kirby,
So, how does that relate to BXB covering League of Women Voters events in the Grange Hall?
I think
Because if you're saying signs aren't allowed on the property, but then we allow League of Women Voters events inside the property and then we cover them, how does that, or is that completely different? I'm just raising the question quickly if I could.
of course.
That's a
good question. I think that we should take that up when we come back to this,
Yeah.
because I didn't ask for any council input on that.
I mean, obviously we'll-
I think those are different, but legal
Yeah, I
may
guess-
have a different opinion.
I guess my
Thank
thought
you.
process is if like the Democratic town committee wanted to have an event here and wanted you to publicize it, they would have the right to do that. Is that kind of what you're saying, is like, okay,
Well, no, it's just more of, there's the all or nothing statement being made.
or the Republican Town Committee, I'm not picking sides, or anybody else. Yeah.
So I just want to make certain how it applies all the way across as far as things that are seen on the government channel that is a town department.
To answer your question, I'll give you my thoughts on it immediately. So League of Women Voters comes in and holds the candidate night, right? But it's a very equal sort of presentation, you know, same questions.
It's
you know,
inclusive.
It's inclusive, so you're not excluding any candidates, and I don't think that the questions are geared towards any particular person, whereas the sign thing, it's like, you know, whoever can get out there in a herd quickest and put the signs, or pull other people's signs out, or this, that. So I see it as different, but I'm not going to make a special call,
Surely.
but I would imagine in
Right.
the next 2 weeks, I'll probably have occasion to speak with our town council.
Thank
and
you.
I'll ask that question to get some
Okay.
clarification.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the question.
I go on record as saying all signs are tacky, but that's just me.
But, but the signs as they are fine, except that they say League of Women Voters on them. If it says Vote Tuesday,
Right.
that's
right,
fine.
right.
Well, the thing is we would have to put the signs out there, so.
Right.
So either everybody can put their signs out, or nobody can, but it's town property, so we could still put vote with the date. Because it's our property, and we're the stewards.
The other thing is with the
You can get
signs,
to the, you can get to the mic.
Mike,
Yeah, please.
So can we say that anyone can put the signs up as long as it has a certain wording? So as long as it says this vote now or vote today or like something that like very specified wording, anybody can do it. But this is the wording it should have.
Right,
Oh,
right.
in other words, put guidelines into what the
Guidelines
sign.
into like what the
Yeah.
sign could say, and then it's open to everyone.
So where this came up was because the League of Women Voters can't have the perception that they're aligned with anybody else. That's the conundrum that was brought to us, so. But I hear what you're saying. So in other words, keep the playing field has to be level.
Let me just add that I think it was Liz who used to actually keep the signs in her office, and you'd come down here, pick them up, and she'd let you, you put them at the corner of your property. Now, if you have a political sign up, she didn't want it up there, so she wouldn't let you put it up. But, so the town clerk used to have the signs, and I thought they were the League of Women Voter signs, but maybe they weren't. There was other Vote Today signs or Vote Tuesday signs.
Well, I think, right, I think we just need to be careful going forward, as I think Mike said, that if if you put up sandwich signs that says voting is next Tuesday, that we put them up, we can do that.
correct. And I would suggest, I wasn't aware of that, but that makes sense, that, that the League of Women Voters would have been stored here somewhere, and then, people call. I would suggest that we probably don't store those signs here either,
Right.
and people just call the League of Women Voters to put a sign on their private property. Yeah, and that makes sense. They can contact her directly, put the signs out. I think they're wonderful. We'll put them on private property instead of town property, and then we just, I was approached earlier this year about could we put out a sign for a worthy cause, and looking at it now, it's if I was asked the question next week, I would say no, we can't do that. And we would just put our own shot clinic this week, or mosquito spraying this week, or Vote Tuesday, and we just keep those very generic. And I'm not sure if this is where you were going, Dave, but it may not be. But let's say the League of Women Voters, if we just put with the cover the part that says that and just Vote Tuesday, I would suggest we don't do that either, because they've paid for those signs. I would suggest we probably need to use our own sandwich boards, or the town pay for its own sign. So there's no, and that may not have been where you were going at all, but I would say we suggest get away from the donated or any, you just stay completely impartial.
So I feel like you just did this with some issues, because I certainly wouldn't want to not put up Neshoba Board of Health's flu clinic, or the Neshoba Board of Health rabies clinic, or mosquito spraying. So I think the policy probably has to evolve a little bit, that if it's municipally based,
Which the Neshoba Board of Health is municipally based.
so they'd be allowed. Okay. All right, I just want to be sure that we don't wind up doing a disservice to people, that's all. And,
Yeah,
unintended
and
consequences.
the same with the shot clinic. That is that's a consortium of municipal entities that have gotten together to provide Board of Health.
Right.
So that is a municipal service that we are providing.
And we're a part of it.
Yeah. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought, okay, all right. Well,
But the only question, Mike, I don't even want to go
Should
down the road.
we wait to discuss further?
Well-
Or is it okay to discuss now?
well, it's okay now. Yeah, I was just saying we're passing or voting. We're not going to vote.
Oh, just the
Because I
voting
felt
part,
we needed
okay.
to add, let Susan, since Susan is the one that brought it to us, give her the courtesy of being here.
So, Mike, the only question I have, I know you're gonna have to go to council or someone on Mass Ave. Is that, where's the dividing line on that? I mean, is that either private property? Is any of that town property, or is that state property?
That's state property.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm even thinking, isn't the 8 feet off the side of the road town property? Like, so even in my own yard, I wouldn't be able to put it up in the road. I'd need to put it back here. We're kind of opening up a can of
No, we
worms.
really are, because that's
Yeah.
that's really what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
if they put a sign on Mass Ave,
Yeah,
that's not our property.
right. So we wouldn't be able to.
We couldn't tell them no. I'm guessing.
I don't know the answer.
Well, guess what? We
I would-
opened up a can of worms.
Yeah, we did.
But if you have the property owner's permission,
Right.
why not?
Right.
Which is who? The state?
Well, like, like Mark White said to me when I had a sign up, he said, you can put one of your signs in front of my business on Mass Ave. Okay, so I put it in the ground there, so.
How far off Mass Ave? Yeah, I know. See, I know. This is what
3
I'm getting.
feet, 4 feet?
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I can just see it getting to that.
Well, especially with an election and people feeling
Right.
the pressure of the election. Let's put it that way. So I say no signs. I'm fine with no signs. So you guys know how I feel about signs. All right. So you know what? Let's all noodle on it. Think about it.
Yeah,
We'll think
yeah,
about
and
unintended
we'll-
consequences
yeah,
and
Susan.
talk about it at our next meeting and make sure we invite all interested parties to come in and speak to us about it.
Okay.
All righty. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Santosh.
Welcome. Okay, let's see. Let's start over here. Town administrator reports and updates. Anything from this table?
Yeah, so just some staffing updates. So we conducted interviews last week for the Human Services Director. For this position, these were internal candidates that we interviewed, and we plan on making a decision about that pretty soon. But last week we held interviews for that, and the next thing we're taking applications. We're still taking applications for the Recreation Services Coordinator, as well as for the Administrative Assistant for the Treasurer Collector. Also today we received some news of the Administrative Assistant for DPW and Fire actually just submitted their letter of resignation today, so we're going to get started with advertising for that position. As far as with the
Let me just comment on that before you depart that. She has just accepted the position as town clerk in the town of Maynard, where they don't have an elected clerk, they have an appointed clerk, so it's a significant salary increase, and she has experience in 2 other communities as the assistant town clerk. So we're happy for her, but very sad for us.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
She's a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's great.
She's dynamite.
Yeah. Okay.
And with that one, we plan on advertising the position this week and go ahead and getting the process started with getting a
How much
timeline.
notice was she able to give?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? So you have a plan in place to cover Ed in the meantime?
We're working,
No pressure.
We're working
No
on
pressure.
it. Actually, she has offered to.
I'm sure he does, you guys.
Yeah, she has actually offered, and we've already taken her up on helping with the transition plan. So she'll be working after hours and Friday afternoons, and because it's
Okay.
and it's
Thank
not
you
just
also for that.
and it's not just Ed at DPW. It's also over at the fire department. She's
Oh,
she's
forgot about
covering
John.
2 departments. So she's and I know she'll follow through on that. She is just a super dedicated employee, and I know You know, she's good. She'll help us,
Can we say
you know,
her
as
name?
much as we can. Yeah, absolutely. Melissa Pelletier.
Thank you, Melissa.
And she's been wonderful.
I want to make sure I didn't break any rules like usual. Okay.
And also another thing, we've signed off on the contracts for the Boxborough Meadows project, and we also met with the contractor 2 weeks ago to do some site walks for each one of the roofs that's going to be replaced and go over just the kickoff for that project. We're looking to a 2 to 4 week start time for that. We just need to get some information out to the residents in that community, as well as some information about the process and what they need to clear off in their yard before we get started with that. We also signed off on the contract for the roof replacement for the library, and we did a site walk last week with the contractor for the roof project, and looking to get started with that in 2 to 3 weeks as well.
Wow. Everyone will be ready for winter. Hurricane season is coming.
And we also, as we opened the bids for the fuel replacements for the fuel tanks over at DPW. So Ed and Melissa are gonna check references for the companies that bid on that project, but we're looking to once references are clear and background's done on that, go ahead and award a contract for that project as well.
How many bids were there?
4.
Wow. All right. More than I expected. Great. Good.
Rajan, any idea when that would start, roughly October, November, December, January? The tank replacement?
For the tank, it really just depends on the availability of when the company will be able to get the process started. Okay. But we can just check with them once we decide to award the contract.
Right. Okay.
Speaking of timing, though, our intention is to use some ARPA money towards that project. So it is our full intention to have the contract signed for the,
Prior to December 31st?
Yes.
Right, and then it really just depends on the contractor's schedule, whatever they can fit in for us, I'm sure. Yeah.
We have to look at that, actually, what's left in ARPA.
Watching that
You're watching
daily,
it?
very
Of
closely.
course. I'm not surprised.
And on that note, well, I'll take
Sorry,
my,
Roger,
I'll take my turn when
we're
it's my
stealing
turn.
your thunder. Go ahead.
That's all I have for just my update.
Oh, okay, what about Steel Farm Phase 3? How's
Steel
that?
Farm Phase 3, that should be good to go once I incorporate the updates and just get a date from the state on when we can advertise.
I'm sorry, get a date for?
From the state.
From the state, okay.
On when we can advertise.
Okay, all right, good, thanks.
So I have 2 quick updates. One, if you've been over to the Morse Hillberg room in the last couple of weeks, you'll notice that the Morse Hillberg conference room has gotten narrower. What we've done is put walls on the alcoves, so now there's the Morse alcove office and the Hillberg alcove office.
You made the Hillberg alcove smaller? What the hell?
They have the same exact size.
Okay. I thought I heard smaller.
Same color. No,
Okay.
exactly.
All right, just
No.
making sure.
The whole conference room got
Okay,
smaller,
all right.
but the alcove's the same. So an employee that we have crammed in a corner here in Town Hall will be taking one of those alcove offices, and the future recreation coordinator will take the other one. And so that work will be finishing up in the next couple of weeks. And speaking of ARPA money, our intention is also to sign a contract on the culvert work over at Liberty Square. Even if we can't do the work yet, because we're waiting on a few things, the design is in work. I spoke with the civil engineer today. Ed Kukla at DPW and I are working very closely with them. But our intention is to have the contract signed for the design, or actually we'll probably have the design all paid for, but the contract for the installation of that. And then we have another 2 years after that to actually get the work done. It won't take that long, but as long as we get the contract signed for that work. It's been tough getting the materials for that actual culvert itself. It's old and we've got to replace it with more modern materials, but that's a good news thing for, because part of that will be paid for with ARPA money. And then there was also some money also voted for that at town meeting last year.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Mike, you mentioned as well, follow up, How's Ed doing? As people might know, Ed had an accident with his leg or ankle. How's he doing?
He's doing good recovery-wise. He's in a lot of pain. So because he's shared the pictures, he's talked about his health openly, so I don't think he'd mind me talking about his health on this. What happened was the guy works out a lot. He apparently has very strong muscles and tendons and ligaments. So instead of tearing his Achilles tendon, when he overextended it, he broke the back of his heel bone off. And that piece of that very large bone is still attached to the tendon. So what they did is they tipped his foot way down, reattached his heel bone with steel screws, and he was put in a cast. Usually a cast is like this. His foot cast was like this. And now they've put him in a new brace, and every week they take out another wedge out of that and keep angling it up.
braces.
Oh, my God.
But worse.
Yes. So this morning, he was coming up the steps here on his one. They're only allowing him to use one crutch now, and he came up here to the bid opening with Rajon, and he's in a lot of pain, but he's tough. He's been back to work as soon as he was able to drive. Fortunately, it was his left foot, so he's still able to drive. But
That's
but he's
dedication.
recovering. He's recovering well, but he doesn't complain. But it's obvious that it's a lot of pain.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because I saw one of the X-rays and I said, "Oh, he's got screws in his heel." I said, "Think about that. Oh my gosh, that's got to be painful. That's got to be painful."
We wish you the best, Ed. Good Lord.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I really don't have anything, except that I did want to say that we did lose another member of our community. Ruth Morse passed away, just speaking of the Morse Hillberg room. Ruth, Becky, what did she do for the town?
The assistant assessor for a while.
That's what it was, yeah. She worked for the town for years and years and years, so I'm very sorry for your loss, Morse family. I actually heard through a childhood friend, and I wasn't aware until last weekend, so our condolences.
I have updates from the building committee. Last building committee, we talked mainly about public engagement. There was also talk about site and size again. So I think there was a lot of conversations. One of the big things, takeaways, is that like if we end up adding sites, it's going to extend the time frame for the architectural firm and the design firm to look at and assess another 12 months. Is that right, Mike? Did he say 12? Any new site we add, is it like 12 months?
Weeks.
12 weeks, sorry.
Where did
not 12.
additional sites come from? I didn't think we were adding any additional sites.
So, no, that was one of the conversations that, like, it wasn't, nothing was decided,
Okay.
but I'm just, like, kind of keeping you
It did
guys,
come
yeah.
through. Okay.
One of the members, I think, brought it up, and so,
There was a site on Mass Ave that was mentioned.
One that we haven't already considered?
Well, no, one that
No?
was considered previously.
and previously, but not in the final
Yeah.
list, and,
Final four.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we also unanimously voted to present Context, right, as the architectural firm that should be coming in front of the board for a vote.
Yes.
Great, next meeting?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so,
You guys are really humming, huh?
yeah, we should be going even faster, I think, because I'm thinking about the timelines and when we need to get things done.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're all
Before the-
paying attention to special time meeting timeline?
Timeline, yes.
Is the OPM involved in these meetings yet, or not?
Yes.
Yes, the OPM was there.
Okay.
The architectural firm, Jeff, right? Was it Jeff?
Yes, Jeff Shaw.
Jeff, right,
Okay.
yeah, he was there, so
Okay, good.
they were all. With the OPM, I think there was one over via Zoom and then one person was in person.
Oh, great,
So
good.
two of them were there, so.
What was their advice about adding an additional site to the mix? Anything? Or it's not their place?
It's, yeah.
not their place.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the timing is all they discussed. And they weren't familiar with the site that was mentioned, because it was one of the ones that Mary Brolin had mentioned, that was one of the 19 or 20 sites that had previously been looked at but excluded because of one reason or
Or the
another.
other, yeah,
So
so,
I do have a question, and I need to come back to you with this, Kristen,
Sure.
because I don't have it posted for tonight's meeting, and that is whether you want me to come back for a vote of the select board to move ahead with context, or on the recommendation of the fire station building committee, do you want me to go ahead and extend the next contract with the architect? And that's,
Statutorily, what are our obligations? Like, do we need to vote it, or can we give them the authority, or give you the authority?
I believe that you can give me the authority to do that, because we already have the select board had previously voted them, and I've done an extension contract with them.
Yeah, the hand.
So I don't think there's any, I don't think it has to.
Okay.
But,
Thanks, Roger.
but I will, I can get back to you with that.
Cindy, do you have a comment?
Oh, hold on, Cindy.
Hold on, we'll figure it out.
We'll get to you.
Oh, there.
Thank you. Yes, my comment or question really is, yes, the building committee did recommend an extension of the contract of context, but there was no mention of what the tasks were and what the dollar amount was. So I guess that's my question to you folks tonight, or to Mike, is how much is this contract extension for, and what are the tasks associated with it?
You know what, why don't we put it on a future agenda, because I feel like now we've crossed into a lot of detail, and in fairness, it should be an agenda item. So why don't we put it on the next agenda, if that's all right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I want to be
don't think-
fair to make sure that we do this correctly.
Yeah, I don't think that, that we should get into a discussion of it. I could take that question, but I could even put it on this Thursday. There's a fire station building committee, and we could put it on that agenda, and I think it would be appropriate to give the update there.
Okay, that
then-
makes sense to
And
me.
then if appropriate,
We have
bring it
time.
back here.
I as
don't-
long as it's statutorily appropriate, that's Mike's job. So if the building committee wants to hire them, I don't see the need for it to wait 2 more weeks to come back to
Well,
us.
plus, we've already given.
Exactly,
We've
yeah.
already given the building committee that authority with Mike and all that, so we shouldn't, I don't think it's.
Agreed. Yeah, we're not gonna step on those toes, so,
So what I'll do, because Cindy brings up a good question, is I'll have that on the agenda for this week of the fire station building committee,
Yeah.
and talk about what the deliverables are and what the price is for that contract.
I think that's the appropriate place to do it. Perfect. All right, good.
So if I'm remembering that meeting, was there a motion to bring it to the select board for approval?
They were asking the question, do they need to?
No, but at the meeting.
There was, and that's because that's what I had recommended to them, but then I found out I don't need to do that because the select board had already voted to go with that. So it really doesn't need to come back to the board unless you would like it to. Statutorily, it does not have to.
Okay, my concern is just, I don't want the delays.
That's
you
my
know, for
reason.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We gave them, they can give us updates, but my opinion, we really shouldn't be taking action unless we have to.
Agreed. Does that address your concern?
Yeah, no, that's fine, as long as we're not pushing something out that's gonna slow down the process.
That's why I don't want to
Yeah.
take the time to vote on it.
Yeah.
Let them
Yeah,
vote.
if they do it this coming Thursday, we're skipping right along, and they don't have to wait for our next meeting, which I don't even know when that is.
Cindy has her hand up.
Cindy, is your hand residual or is it a new hand?
Yeah, it's just that same follow-up. I mean, the vote was to recommend to the select board for tonight. So I'm just trying to track the progress of things. And now the select board is saying you don't need to vote to recommend it to the select board. So I think the building committee needs to get that straight about what they do and and don't need to do for contract extensions.
Yeah, Priya and Mike will bring that back to them on Thursday.
And that's on me, not really the fire station building committee, because I had put it on their agenda, for a recommendation to bring back, but then found out we don't need to do that because you've already sent it there. So I think it's more appropriate going back to the fire station building committee, and I'll take up this, that update with them Thursday.
Okay, that works.
Can I just get clarification on something?
Sure.
If the select board doesn't need to vote on these contract extensions, I guess it would be helpful to understand what amount of dollars the building committee has authorization to do extensions. Is it the full $500,000 that was voted at last town meeting?
No.
Or something less, or is this something the building committee still needs to figure out?
I think that's best to be taken up Thursday night.
Okay.
Okay,
So
thank
they'll
you.
discuss it on Thursday night. Yeah, because we don't even have all the information in front of us. It wasn't in our packet, so. But at the end of the day, they'll make that decision, decide if it's an appropriate amount. They've already got the select board's blessing that they are the experts in this, not us, so we're good. So Mike will sign on our behalf, subject to the building committee's vote. Okay. All righty. Anything else?
So I got one thing. It's kind of a multi-part thing, but I think I may have mentioned it before. But I'm working with, Mary Nedwarski. Nedwarski, sorry, Mary. And Wendy Trinks and I were working on a list of condominium associations in the town to try to establish some communication mechanism for.
Just reach out to me. I have them all.
Good.
I'm like, why didn't you
Don't
ask
go
me
anywhere.
first?
Don't go anywhere. So, because one of the things that I'm going to be doing is meeting with the HOA meeting, an enclave, talking to the folks over there
Okay.
about opportunities that they could participate in the town. For,
Sure.
Trying
Okay.
to get more volunteers.
Awesome.
The other thing I want to mention too is we did, and this is kind of goes back maybe to Bajan's work with RFPs, but we did get another updated response from the Water Resources Committee from Weston and Sampson.
Weston and Sampson.
Weston and Sampson. We'll be voting on that tomorrow night.
Awesome.
And
Keep us
that
posted.
looks good.
Do you have
so
any
we're
update
moving
on
along
all
with
of that? Like, I'll be honest, I'm not up to date with what's going on with about bringing in Littleton or about what?
I can tell you
No.
about, I can give you a quick update on what's going on with Littleton. So
And then you
the,
can tell me what's in the report if you
Sure.
were just referencing.
so the legislature just went into an informal session after their formal session
Yeah, because
ended.
I knew we had missed it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and did vote to approve the water line extension, and the governor has signed that into law, so we are full steam ahead.
Wowie zowie. Okay. And then what's the report you're referencing?
This is the Water Resources Committee is looking to have a plan, a future plan for how we're going to manage our water going forward. It was a phased approach. So they've got. I think you saw in the town warrant there was some money left over.
Yep.
We're going to be using for that. So we've kind of gone back and forth, but and it'll be broken out into phases. First, the first phase they'll be working on, we'll be just gathering up all the information and providing a report to us.
Okay.
That will use part of the money, and then based on their learnings, then we move into the next steps for additional things that we want them to work on.
Sounds good. Okay. No, I look forward to that because the water tables are all over the place. Things are different than they have been in the past. So looking forward to all of that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyone see skillings in my front yard? Because I had to frack. So, yeah. So the water tables are definitely different. So, what have you got?
Personnel board, I'll be going to the personnel board's meeting tomorrow night. They are drafting up a whole bunch of new documents, moving forward with clarification on roles, positions, and as Lee presented to us the last time, finalizing the document about an employer of choice. So
Exciting.
So they'll be able to present final documents to us at some point in the near future.
There is so much good work going on right now.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my gosh. Go volunteers. Yeah. Who's that? Yeah. All right, awesome. Anything else? So I'll be, Mike and I will be at the housing board meeting this week. That's Thursday, right? Did you say you were going, or was that somebody else?
I'll be at the fire station building
You're at
committee.
the fire station. I'll be at the housing board meeting on Thursday. Okay. All right, so I'll have updates on that.
Dave and I will be having lasagna on Wednesday.
You're going to be having lasagna. Excellent.
Like oldies do.
And you're going to be planning your menu, right? All right, is there any other updates from anybody? We're going to be out of here by 9, you guys. All righty. Have you all had a chance to take a look at the regular session minutes from August 12th and August 19th?
Yes.
And Dave?
Dave has no edits to go with that. Whoever's
Did you
doing
bring
those minutes-
cauliflowers?
Did you write
For-
those?
because
did
there
you
were
do
no
the minutes?
edits. That means there was no edits. I was like,
Somebody else doing the minutes.
Whoa!
You did the minutes?
What?
Somebody else did the minutes.
Okay, well, you should get flowers anyway.
Well, whoever's doing it did a great job. I mean, there was a lot of.
I'm just
there's
stepping
a lot
in
of
it today,
information.
over and over and over again. I'm just gonna go home now.
So I'm good with the minutes.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. I move to approve the regular session minutes of August 12th, 2024 and August 19th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Oh.
I got
All
that
right.
one.
Well, whoever's
He's
taking
got that
minutes
one.
gets to pick it. All right. Any other questions, concerns, comments about the minutes? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Excellent. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? We're out of
Second.
here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for another wonderful select board meeting.